9:30. Are y'all ready? Okay. I don't know if there's Chloe could be here or not. She did text me and said she's trying to make it, so we can move on to election before. So I guess I'll call the meeting to order. First thing we need to do is approve the minutes.
I will move to approve the minutes with the correction to Judge Lugo's last name.
And I will second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
It is approved. The next thing up is the purchasing department's activities report.
Yes, this is our August report. I'm sorry, July report. This is the same monthly report we send out to you monthly. So we just included July in the meeting. Any questions? Okay. The next item is countywide projects, including inventory. So I have here listed a few of the contracts that we are working on currently that may be of interest to you. The first one is election tasking and scheduling software and maintenance. We have that on the award recommendation for August 19th. And the next item is GPS asset tracker for elections. That one's on hold right now. IT is looking into that a little bit further. The next item is our contract with Smart Communications. That's our vendor who provides inmate communications. There were some FCC changes that occurred on January 1 that we're working through because it could change the rate of our commissions. So we have a meeting scheduled with them this afternoon to work through that. Also, the next item is replacement for in-car laptops for the sheriff's office for the patrol cars. We expect to award that one in September. And a court scheduling tool, we just went out for bid on that, and it's in evaluation right now. It prompts the reminder that you have court or also the jury duty.
Not for me, for like either a defendant or.
Yes, for the defendant.
I know Harris County, they just email stuff to attorneys and say, these are the hearings you have for the week. Do they do it, I just email it, you know, email people?
I believe it's an email. There was a gentleman that came to court, I would say a few months ago, that mentioned that he was getting alerts. And with the jury assignments,
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Sorry.
and with the jury assignments, you know, now we log in to, I guess it's, you log in ahead of time instead of reporting downtown for jury duty. And then it sends you a reminder of which court you've been assigned to or if you've been dismissed.
And we need some other tool other than what we're already using?
No, it's just time to go back out for bid again.
Okay.
The next item is our Brinks contract for armored car pickup. Again, another contract we're working through price increases with. We haven't settled on a rate yet. And then there were some other fees that Brinks wanted to include that we were not aware of. So we're working with Brinks through that. We have a meeting with them, I believe, on August 18th, or with the stakeholders at least, to discuss it before we meet with Brinks. The next item is we're going out for bid to replace the target system at our firing range for the sheriff's office. The firing system that we have right now does not rotate. It's really old and needs to be replaced. And we're also working on body cameras. We have an estimated quote from Axon on that, and that we're just working with the sheriff's office on the next steps. And the last item is the jail staffing. So we received 10 responses. and that was on Friday. So now we're setting up evaluations to review those responses. So that was more than what we expected. So we're hoping that we'll be able to get a jail staffing company. And the next update is regarding inventory. The first item, the purchasing inventory, the one that we do all of the inventory outside of IT, and we have over 8,000 items. When we reported our inventory to you on July 1st, there were 811 missing items. We're working through those missing items. We're starting with vehicles first. So we've found 34 vehicles since the last report, and so we're still looking for 124 more. And we're also working with the departments on any other items that were reported missing.
How do we lose a vehicle? Like 124 of them especially.
We have a new fleet director, and he did the best he could to go around and look at every single vehicle, but because most of the vehicles are patrol units, they're not always on premise because of the different shifts. So we're working to make sure that we go around and lay our hands on every single vehicle as well. We're just trying to help them out.
Do we have a breakdown of what these vehicles are?
Most of them are law enforcement vehicles. There may be one or two, like trailers, but most of them, majority of them are law enforcement. So that's between the constables as well as the sheriff's office.
I would assume if one of these vehicles got into an accident, there would be some log of who had the vehicle at the time of the accident.
Yes,
So,
yes. So when a vehicle's in an accident,
well, I'm just saying in general, why don't you have a log of where all these vehicles are?
there is a lot, and there's an impound lot right outside of Central Garage.
But you should have a log of who had the vehicle, right?
I'm sorry?
You should have a log of who had the video, who had the car.
Yes, we do have it, but
Log,
the fleet director wants to actually see it, put his
Okay.
hands on it. Another thing that I suggested to the fleet department was if the vehicle had come in for an inspection, we just want to make sure, if it's come through Central Garage for an inspection, then we still have it. So, but he wants to physically touch and see each vehicle, and that's what we're helping resolve. Assets for IT, they have over 12,000 assets, and they reported 480 not found, and they're still working on that as well. They did have a change in structure, so we're working with Anthony Jackson's team now to resolve where those items are. Any questions regarding the inventory? Okay. I have a couple of internal updates. One of our buyers, Emily Salter, received her CPPB certification. We're very happy and proud of her. She has only been with us maybe 4 years and has already received her certification. You just have to be in purchasing for 3 years to qualify for the test. So we're very proud of her. And she's also been promoted to Senior Contracts Administrator as of maybe 3 weeks ago. So very proud of her. We've successfully had many trainings over the last few months. That includes purchasing one-on-one training, P-card training sessions. These are for our user departments, as well as asset training. We had several sessions that were in person and virtual for asset training before we rolled out the inventory because we have a lot of new employees that may not have gone through the process. So we offered in-person and virtual training on how to conduct your inventory and report it back to purchasing. And those have been successful. We also have recordings that are available in the LMS system. And the last item we have was the Excellent in Procurement Award. We earned that award again this year. And I'm very proud of my staff for all the hard work and dedication they put into this award. It's our benchmark to show where we are in the field against other entities within the United States and also Canada. And so it keeps us striving for goals. They're going to have a lot of changes in the criteria for next year, so they're going to make it a little bit tougher, but we're up for the challenge for sure. So it drives us toward continuing improvement and motivation. So we're honored to receive it. There were only a few counties in Texas that received it, and we were amongst maybe 20 of them. So we were proud again. This was the 30th year for this award, and we're happy to receive it. The next item on the agenda are updates to our policies and procedures. This will be effective September 3rd if approved by the board, and then it will move on to the court. So the first item is adding language, this is on page 7, it's marked as page 17 in your policy. Everybody there? Okay. So the first one, it just addresses,
17.
okay. The first one just addresses road spend. We do receive a lot of requests. At least I receive a lot of check requests for reimbursement for items such as personal ice machines, art, microphones. I've received so many of these requests that were not approved to reimburse an employee, and usually they are denied. And also, the court members already know that we receive invoices for product that was, or services that were done without purchasing approval. So this just outlines that for our end user, that it's not allowed.
So I have a couple of questions on this. Where does someone go to find out how they're supposed to do it?
So we have the policies and procedures on our website, and we also have this information and more information on our intranet site.
So when a person gets hired by Tarrant County, whoever they are, could be somebody in my office, could be Judge Chupp's new court reporter, is there some kind of orientation telling them, go here, look at this, review this? Is there anything where there's here's a one sheet, this is policies and procedures to follow? Is it in the handbook where it's easy to understand? Kind of walk me through how that works.
It's not in the HR handbook, no, but it is on our intranet site, and we also conduct one-on-one trainings every time there's a new department that we work directly with. If it's a department head, or if it's the person that their business manager or somebody that oversees the procurement, we have them meet with us for a purchasing one-on-one class, and we go over things like this.
So just when I hear you say we get lots of requests for this and this and this and this, I'm not saying there shouldn't be a policy here. What I hear is we, whoever we is, I don't know if we as purchasing, we as Commissioners Court, we as the county, we are not doing a good enough job of explaining to people and reinforcing what they can or can't do. If you're repeatedly getting requests, there is a gap in the communication somewhere.
Yes.
So I don't think we address the gap in communication by now we're putting in a policy into a spot where nobody's going to read that either. So what are we doing to address that?
Yes, so we do send them the policies and procedures. We outline exactly where it states in the law.
Are we talking
So
about
we're not
after
talking
they've done
about,
it?
we're not talking about,
Are we talking about after they've tried to buy something? Or are we talking about before?
yeah, after
Okay,
they
well,
bought
that's,
something.
again, that's not addressing what I just said. Let me ask it this way. Are we doing anything to address that it keeps repeatedly happening to stop it before it happens?
Yes, and that's where the
Okay,
purchasing
what?
101 class comes in. And those people, we're already addressing it with them prior to them going out and making a purchase and asking for reimbursement.
Can I ask, when did that start? I don't know if my mic is working. When did that start? The reason I ask that is I know of at least 2 judges in the criminal courts building. We've been having problems with their microphones. I have it all the time, feedback. And I'm asking, like, can we get equipment? Can we do something? And all I was told it was denied. So I know 2 judges, just to make their courtroom better, purchase things, and then we're told nothing. And I know you said elected officials go through this purchasing 101 class. I don't specifically remember that. Is that a newer class? I just, to kind of piggyback on what you're saying, we've been having issues in our building.
No, we have mandatory elected officials, newly elected officials class.
And I remember going through that class. I don't remember that part being outlined. So I just don't know if it's just like a one-liner that's said in it and then move on. I just have the same concerns as you because I know we've been having problems in our building and we've been told, no, you can't do that. And I know at least 2 judges in our building, district judges, have bought their own equipment because they were just basically told, well, good luck because we can't help you.
Would it be fair to say that we should not expect to be reimbursed for anything that we buy with our own money without prior approval of y'all?
Yes, that's true. That's a
Okay.
true statement.
And so, I mean, I
That's
think
fine.
I think if I go to Home Depot or Office Depot and buy some paper, they're not going to reimburse me unless I ask for it.
No, that's
Yeah.
fine. And I understand that. I'm not saying, it's just we're having problems where we're having to fix our own stuff. And I guess I piggyback on what he's saying. I just don't know what's being told out there. It makes logical sense. I have no problem with the logic there. That's why y'all haven't heard about it because they're just like, yeah, that makes sense. It's just, I guess I'm just piggybacking on him. I just know of certain examples we've
Well,
had.
What makes sense is what he said. New employee information, training packet, one sheet. This is purchasing. This is how you purchase or not purchase. I recall from our new elected officials, Renee, I think was the auditor at the time, and said, if you buy something that's not previously approved, you pay for it. I mean, she just told us straight out. So, with regard to employees, though, they need to receive something right off the bat as a part of the new employee packet.
Okay, we'll make sure that I know my microphone is not on, but we'll make sure that we include something in the employee orientation package.
Yes.
But so 2 more things on that.
Okay.
On the including something in the package is a good idea. Here's 784 pieces of paper, remember it all and follow it is not the answer. Okay. It's got to be a 1-pager, very key, important purchasing things, bam, where somebody can look at it. I would recommend, I'm assuming you have access to the ZZZ all mailboxes.
Not anymore.
Then whoever has it, why don't you ask them to send this out, a reminder to all employees, you cannot do this, you must do this, blah, 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 blah. And then if you have issues with things like we can't get a microphone in our courtroom, just call my office and we'll make sure that gets taken care of.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Another thing I think this may be addressing is if ink company calls my office and says, we're going to start sending you ink, and my coordinator says, sure, send it to us, that the county won't be bound by that as them being an agent. And I don't know how we get that out to people that aren't in the community. Because, I mean, it says a person other than the county purchasing agent may not make the purchase. And so that used to happen in an office I was at. People would call and say,
Yes.
we're sending over water, and somebody on, the receptionist says, okay. And then they're saying we had authority to send it, and you got to pay for it. I think that's what that's addressing too. I don't know how we tell other people, other than it being on your website, saying I am the only person that can approve county money being spent. And so
Yes, we'll get that sent out countywide.
I'm just saying
Yes.
I'm talking about for outside vendors that are calling, like my coordinator, and saying, I've got some paper to sell you.
We'll
And
put
she
it
says,
on,
okay. I mean, she didn't have the authority to do that.
yes, we'll put it in two places. We'll
Okay.
put it on our website homepage, also on our vendor registration page. So that way vendors will know not to
Okay.
send anything. Because it does happen. They, I know it used to happen with Toner. I'm not sure if it still happens.
Toner was, yeah.
Where they used to just ship it.
Yep.
All right, so anybody else have anything on that? Because I have a different set of questions on this. So we kind of ran into this several months back on who is deciding it's an emergency. Like, who decides that? It was never defined. Remember that one?
Yes.
Emergency spending? So who makes the determination about what is rogue spending and what isn't?
Well, we decided that all approvals will go through the county administrator. And that is in our policy that was
When you say we decided, who's we?
the,
No, I'm not talking about the emergency thing right now.
okay.
I'm talking about this particular, the rogue thing. Who is deciding whether or not something is a rogue spending?
Well, it comes to me for approval.
So you decide.
I will decide if it comes to as a check request to approve it or not.
Okay.
And because I need the full story. Sometimes the full story is not part of the backup. So I may have to call the department and find out what happened, what was the purpose of going out and purchasing something prior to. And the others come through, majority of them come through Commissioner's Court for
Okay, well,
approval.
unless I misread the changes to the policy, it says rogue spending is bad, rogue spending can be disciplined, but there's nothing that says who is deciding something is rogue spending. There's a definition of rogue spending. There's nothing that says who decides what's rogue spending, and there's nothing that says what the punishment is. So is that just, okay, you can't rogue spend, and now it's up to each department head to decide, okay, this is the punishment? How's that being
Yes,
decided?
we're not deciding the punishment for that, no.
Okay. And
It would be
so
the department head.
decides it on each employee, okay, this is the second time you've done this, I'm writing you up, whatever.
Right.
That's not anything purchasing controls.
No,
You just control approval or not.
right. We don't want people out there just spending county funds without any authorization to do so.
Right. Okay.
Back on the monthly report, there's a year-to-date on procurement card abuses, and there was one this year. There's been a procurement card abuse. I assume it was somebody used a card they shouldn't have used on something they shouldn't have used it on.
Yes.
And were they disciplined, or were they fired, or do you know?
No. So it was the fleet department. They went out and had repairs done on two carts, like golf carts. So we spoke with the vendor, and because we did not have them under contract, nor did we weren't in the policy. If there's any purchase over 1,000, or you must get pre-approval to use the card. There are categories where you don't have to get pre-approval,
But there was an issue on this one.
there was an issue on that one.
Was there some type of retraining or anything with that individual?
Yes.
Okay.
So we sat down with that department, and he just decided to turn in his card.
Okay.
I don't want to keep beating this to death, but let me beat this to death a little more. And that is, I don't have a card to my knowledge that I can go just here, go spend it on. But I've heard a couple of times this morning that you can't spend anything unless it's been approved by purchasing. Did I hear that right?
So it does have, if they're good, there are certain items that have to be approved by us because we already have court-approved contracts in place.
But not everything must be approved by purchasing. There are some things that don't have to be approved by purchasing.
There's some things, like for
So-
instance, travel.
Okay, so like if I go, okay, I put a credit card on my hotel. I did not get that approved. I mean, a hotel on my credit card. I did not get that approved through purchasing. I guess that's been pre-approved before, that this is how we do the in-state travel.
Yes.
Okay,
And it's also in the P card policy that it does
Okay.
not require, that's one of the items, one of many items in there that don't require purchasing approval.
okay. And like when we do a new fleet card, that is a pre-approved, somebody can use the fleet card to go buy what they're buying.
Yes.
Buy the
so,
gas.
So with
Okay.
the fleet card, it's assigned to the vehicle, so it's by VIN number.
Okay, got it.
Yes, and we just try to keep up with how many cards we have available. So when it gets audited, we want to make sure we don't have cards for vehicles that we no longer have in our fleet.
Got it.
But we don't even know where some of the cars are. And so are there fleet cards attached to some of these cars that we don't know about?
We know we have activity in the JRS system that shows what fleet cards have activity. And if it doesn't have activity, then the card should be removed from the system.
Okay.
All right, so we're talking about purchasing policy procedure revisions. Did you have more to talk about in terms of revisions? Because I do.
Yes.
Okay.
The next page, page 20, so House Bill 1173, Senate Bill, changed the, effective September 1, the purchasing threshold,
17, 18,
the bid threshold changed from 50,000 to 100,000,
13.
effective September 1. And majority of the changes you see that are strike-throughs in the manual address changing that limit from 50 to 100,000.
All right, so here's my question on this. The current state law, until September 1, I think it
Yes.
is, says all purchases under 50,000, I'm sorry, over 50,000 or 50,000 and above must be competitively bid.
Right.
The statute changed to must be competitively bid 100,000 and above.
Right.
There's nothing that stops it from staying at 50,000. Right?
Right.
Yeah. Don't know why they passed it. How would that affect us if we kept it exactly where it is?
So majority of the items, I would say 90% of the items we bring to court are already at $100,000. There are contracts that are less than $50,000 that we bring to court anyway. There's some that are $15,000 that we bring to court because we just never know if the spend is going to exceed. So an example of that is repair of kitchen equipment or roof repair. We don't know. Our last year's spend was 15,000, but we never know when it's going to go over 50,000. So majority of our contracts are already at that limit.
So I think by your answer, I would surmise that if it stayed at 50, not much would change for purchasing.
I mean, it could change for some of the end users. So, for instance, if we had new projects that, let's say a software project, for instance, if the estimated value is 50,000, well, that's probably a bad example because if it was $50,000, we would still bring it to court just because.
But
of
you
the
just said even if it's 15,000, you would still bring it to court.
Yeah, there's some we still bring to court just because we don't know how much it's going to fluctuate.
Okay.
So even though this bill passed, we can keep our threshold at 50,000, or are we required?
I don't know if we're required.
You can keep it.
That's what I thought. But we don't purchase much under, 100,000. Most.
Yeah, everything is so expensive. The last time this bill was changed was 18 years ago. So just about everything we buy now is at $100,000.
Yeah.
I think what we ought to do is leave it at 50, and then as we go forward, if you see that it is causing a problem, or you can point out stuff to the commissioner's court where it would be easier if we had it at 100, I think that they can change that because we can't change it anyway. Commissioner's court's going to do it. But take a look at it and see if there's issues that come up where it would be better at 100, and just tell them. And I can make my recommendation, but they can still do whatever they want
Right.
at Commissioners Court meeting, so it doesn't really matter.
Speaking of,
Yeah.
will going to the one meeting a month cause a problem?
It could tie our hands and with getting a lot of projects off the ground because we're only meeting monthly. It could cause a backlog, especially with our contracts that have additional contracts that we have to work through, like for construction and IT. We also added that part in the manual as well, how the change in the court will also extend the time from start to finish of a bid.
Do you have anything else to tell us about revisions here?
Yes, one other thing. We just touched on, page 20, we just touched on how it would change, the court changing to monthly will extend the time for bids from 12 to 18 weeks to roughly 14 to 21 weeks. The rest of the changes all have to do with the $100,000. And these are just strike-throughs.
Okay, well, I'll make a motion that we approve the purchasing policy and procedures revisions with the exception of we leave the threshold requiring competitive bidding at 50,000.
I would second that.
All in favor?
Just a
Oh, go
second.
ahead.
Yeah.
We have,
Would you be able to get more contracts approved? Or executed if the threshold were 100,000
yes.
instead of the?
It would
'cause I'm
relieve
looking
our
at the-
department a lot, and right now, we're steady at 50 court actions a month. And, for instance, sole sources, under 100,000. If it's, a good example of that would be, repair of, the X-ray machines downstairs. We have it throughout the county, so they're the only company that can work on their own equipment. So we have to take it to court every single time if it's over $50,000.
I thought you, I'm sorry, and I may have misunderstood. I thought you said there's not a lot that's under $100,000, and now I just heard you say that it would help you because there is quite a bit.
No, there's not there's only 10% maybe that we do right now on the court agenda that's under 100,000. So majority of what we have on the agenda right now, all of those items are over $100,000 already.
I would like to hear from the commissioners on this. I agree with Judge Chupp. I'm not sure that we're the authority to change that.
I think we just recommend to the commissioners is all we're doing.
Yeah, okay. I
And
just
they
wanted to
get
make
to
sure of
choose.
that.
Yeah.
Okay,
And if they want the extra work, they can have it. They'll just have more budget issues at their meeting.
okay.
So
I just wanted to be clear,
Yeah.
yeah.
I won't be there. And so that's your motion. Do you have anything else with regards to?
Do you want me to talk about the last item? It's
I thought you
regarding,
said that was the last item.
Oh, no, we need to vote on this as far as the approval.
I have one more item.
On the
in-
policy.
this.
in the
Okay, go ahead.
policy,
Revisions? Go ahead. Okay.
And that's on page 101. It's regarding renewal terms. So we would like to amend the language for contract renewal terms. So we have a lot of annual contracts to maintain our buildings, and so under this section, we're asking if we could change our renewal terms to read, subject to continued funding by the Commissioners Court, that we would have automatic renewals.
Yep, I made the motion to approve it with the amendments except for the 100,000.
And I'll second that.
I just wanted to make sure that you were aware of that.
Yeah.
Do you have a list of the renewable contracts?
Oh, yeah, we have,
Because the commissioner court may want to see it, to see what all their.
oh, yeah, they'll see them every time we bring them to
Okay.
court. Yeah, the new language will go into the new court. It's not automatic. It's not automatic.
Okay.
It'll go before court on all of our renewals.
We still have to vote for it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because as a parent, I see,
Yes.
I see my
So this is
Netflix, and my
nothing we're doing
Amazon, and all
behind
that
the
for my kids, and I'm like, why do I pay this every month? And they
Yeah.
automatically renew, and yes, and so I'd like to know about it. I don't sometimes.
Yes, they'll
Yeah.
see it every single time.
Okay.
And I second Judge O'Hare's motion.
Do you have anything else? Or do we vote?
You know,
Okay, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed?
I abstain.
You abstain? Okay. Passes 3, 1 abstention. So next are announcements and comments. Has anybody signed up to comment, or do we have any announcements? I'm not seeing any. Any public comments? I'm not seeing anybody. Does anybody want to make a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
And I'll second.
All right, we are adjourned.
All right.